So I wanted to make a quick video for you guys on some FL-250 stuff that may get overlooked a little bit on these, or people may not think about, is grounding on these 250 engines. Now from the factory, they're mounted on these rubber bushings here, and they just have this collar that goes in the middle that you run your bolt through, and the engine is just on rubber to take away the vibrations, but that means from there that it's not grounded to anything. And so what they did was, from the factory, they ran this little grounding wire here off of your motor mount bushing to your lower pull start bolt on your engine, and that was to help complete that circuit. And even like your exhaust too, your exhaust is all rubber mounted up here. And so what people can run into sometimes is weak spark, or they're not getting any spark at all, and they could misdiagnose it as maybe a coil, or they get a high resistance. But sometimes it can really just be they're missing that ground wire on their system. So when I have these engines out, a good tip for people is you can take, and when you have these motor mounts out, these bases here are metal, and you can sand the bottom of them and clean those up a little bit. And then I also sand the frame as well and make sure my pigtails are good and clean. And then your coil mounts as well, I've pulled these off and cleaned the coil mounts up, and like this little connector here, I've pulled it off and made sure it looks all good and clean. And even though that connector looks like junk, looks like it caught on fire, but it didn't. It just maybe got a little, maybe somebody was smoking a cigarette next to it or something and put it out on there. But she's still good, she looks good. We're just gonna ignore that. It still goes on there, nice. But anyway, you wanna clean up your coil mounts too and make sure those are got a nice polish to them, or bare metal. And I just use like my Dremel with the little Scotch-Brite pad brush wheel on there, and that helps. And what I'm going to do as well when I get this thing mounted is I'm going to make another mount, another ground wire that comes off this side of the coil as well, and will go to most likely the top pull start bolt. And so I will make another little short video when I get that one done, just so you can complete your circuit well and make sure everything's getting ground. Because even though sometimes here you have this to here, you still have, there's a gap in this right here and where your roll cage mounts, and so this could become rusty as well. And you could have a lot of resistance through here from rust and whatnot. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of these roll cages have never been off here before, the bolts may have never come loose, and so you can get rust and pitting and stuff like that makes it really difficult, and gives it a high resistance having to go through that rust. So this top one, this secondary grounding wire, will really help make sure that we're getting a nice good spark throughout the circuit, and not have to struggle with that as much, or not have lower resistance. So hopefully you guys, this may save you guys from a misdiagnosis or something along that line. But get out there, get working on your Odyssey, and get to riding. We'll see you.